Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory belong to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Okakodash. Double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the awful elect, the men that are pushing this truth in the four corners, in the highways and byways. Alright, this is your brother Yakal once again. And this lesson basically gonna be touching on the high tide situation in Guyana. Alright, which I actually wanted to do this lesson on Monday, but nonetheless, here it is. All right, it says coastal land residents are warned of high tides next week. All right, and this was published on September 26th. All right, it says the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is advising the public, especially residents of low-lying coastal communities, to take the precautions as the period of spring tides, the 26th of September to the 2nd of October, is here. All right, and one other thing to note is that it's advising the people of the low-lying coastal communities. All right, and if you know anything about Guyana, all right, majority of Guyana's population lives in the natural region called the low coastal plain. All right, the map, Slovakia. Yeah, this is a map of Guyana. Show it, the different natural regions. Now, this area that is highlighted in turquoise, all right, or baby blue or whatever color it is. This is the low coastal plain, this fine strip right here. All right, and within this area, about 85 to 90% of Guyana's population lives in this area. All right, lives in this small area. You see, and the reason being is because we had the capital city here. All right, Georgetown, and you know that anywhere where a city is, it's always densely populated. All right, and not only the capital city, but also Berbice and New Amsterdam. All right, and then you had Linden, which these two are also small towns. All right, so majority of the population of Guyana lives in this area, and two, right, this here, is the Atlantic Ocean. All right, and you know that anywhere any coastal area is generally densely populated because people use the ocean to conduct business. All right, to do merchandising. All right, so in this article, it says to take precaution. Basically, they're addressing majority of the Guyanese. All right, it says some of the areas considered to be particularly susceptible to flooding due to storm surges, which may induce overtapping of the sea river defense structure. All right, and they got like a really small sea wall. All right, which really and truly can't do anything. At the minute that the water rises, it always overtaps the seawall or the river defense. All right, it says according to Sea and River Defense Department, these areas include the Pomeroon River, riverbanks, Slovakia, South Sea, Tesara, and Mariah's Pleasure. To all right, so these are all places in Guyana. All right, so let me jump down. It says, in addition to those locations, government advises persons residing along banks of rivers, low-lying coastal areas to also take precaution, as well as mariners, including those operating fishing vessels on larger vessels. All right, it says, according to the Public Infrastructure Ministry, the highest tides are expected to be on Sunday, September 29th, and September 29th, 2019 at 4:38 p.m. at an height of 3.36 meters, and on Monday, September 30th, 2019 at 5:15 at an height of 3.23 meters. All right. and 3.36 meters, all right, is equivalent to about 11 feet, all right, and you having 11 feet of water rushing to this land, you know, that's a lot, all right, and so this is a snapshot of what basically transpired, all right, and this is like a tsunami, you know, this is like a tsunami. All right, and I'm gonna get to the next article, but basically, this is not accustomed to. The Guyana doesn't experience high tides this big. All right, so this is another article, basically a follow up on the one published on September 26th. It says high tide invades Guyana. Slovakia, high tides invades coastal Guyana. All right, published September 30th, 2019. Um, Several villages across Guyana's coastal lands remained flooded yesterday as a result of unusual high spring tides. Now, if something is unusual, that means you're not accustomed to it. All right, and basically the Mosai is beginning to show signs to this land. All right, because Guyanese are very comfortable. Guyanese are at ease. You know, there was one flood back in 2005. All right, and that was like I mean, they had casualties, but nothing really to shake this place up. So majority of Guyanese are asleep, are comfortable to shit. All right. It says the affected areas are reportedly located closest to the breaches, stellings, rivers, and sea defenses. Kite News understand that the floodwaters were about 18 inches high. Alright? 18 inches high. Alright? Communities on the West Demerara, including Den Amstel, Anna Katrina, Blankenberg, Idruni, in Parika, East Bank, Essequibo, were all affected by the rising tide. All right, and then they're gonna go on to mention some other places in Guyana. All right, nonetheless, so let me just jump to this paragraph. It says, according to Panchu, when the water of the mighty Atlantic swamped the West Maiconi farmlands, around 60 acres of his brother's plot of rice were inundated by salt water. Alright? The businessman revealed that just weeks ago a small contractor was paid hundreds of millions to seal the breach at Danzig, Maiconi. Alright? And you know that basically a Barbies is where majority of um the rice supply comes from. And Guyanese, the average Guyanese eat rice every single day. All right, majority of Guyanese eat rice every single day. And that's why they suffer from diabetes and high blood pressure and these different things. But nonetheless, right? So basically, this is gonna bring a food shortage in Guyana. All right. It says, I want to go to this paragraph here. It says, according to Patterson, government had issued advisory warning persons to take necessary precautions. All right. Now, yeah, I just want to find some good information. It says on Saturday, Director General of Civil Defense Commission (CDC), Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig reported that the tides measuring about 3.24 meters caused overtapping of the sea defense on West Coast Demerara. Alright, says Craig said, based on a detailed assessment, 70 homes were flooded in Anna Katrina alone. However, he believes when combining all communities affected, the numbers were much higher than that. And that anything that is published in mainstream media, all right, is always sugar coated so that you don't have a public panic, all right, or you don't have the population just freaking out, all right. And so they would say 70 ohms, but really it was more. All right, and then he goes on to say, I think approximately 200 to 350 ohms are affected based on a rough estimation, and including all those communities, said Craig. And this is a lie. All right, more ohms were affected. And they're gonna always sugarcoat these things. All right, it says the Director General did not forget to mention that the tides were recorded to be above. All right, the main point, it says to be above the normal level, and warned residents to take precautions. All right, so the Mosai is beginning to show this place that, hey, you're gonna judge this place. All right, there are different signs that are happening now. All right, this place, and the brothers down here, we believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that this place gonna be flooded. This place gonna be hit with a massive flood. All right, and we pray that flood comes soon. So that this place can be shaken. Guyanese are very, very, very comfortable. You know, the minute that you talk about any natural disaster coming to Guyana, they think that you mad. All right, which is all prophecy. All right, which is all prophecy. It says for a measuring much higher than the previous tide. All right, he told them to prepare for a tide measuring much higher than the previous tide. He advised that they should prepare by sandbagging their homes and elevating all household furniture and appliances. All right. Craig also told reporters that the CDC is working hand in hand with the Regional Democratic Council (RDC) to assess, monitor, and respond to the situation. All right. Now, they have a few images here, which shows the flooding. All right. Now, this is a aerial shot, and you see how these homes are affected. Now, you see how this place, you know, this shit. Some of these homes look like if it was built um in the water. All right, but really and truly it's on land, and that's the flood. All right, and Guyanese are gonna see this sign, and take it lightly. All right, because it's not their home that was affected. You see, these are shops and houses being flooded. All right, but the main point of this lesson is that Diane is beginning to experience things that she has never experienced. Diane is beginning to be touched. You see, because we never experienced high tide this big. You know, we never experienced high tide this big. Which is the most I beginning to judge this place. All right, like the scripture saying, um, second Esdras. Yeah, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Alright, and one of those signs are natural disasters. Alright, earthquakes in diverse places, floodings, and you see in all these um what's it, the hurricanes, all right, happening, and they're increasing in magnitude, destroying lands and different cities, like for example what recently happened to the Bahamas. All right, What happened to the Bahamas is just a precursor to what's gonna happen to this entire place. Alright, to the entire earth, you know? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days were before thee, even from the beginning. Alright? Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 24. And I'll start and at 36 it says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but the Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Alright? For as in the days that were before the flood, alright, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Alright, and this is a precursor, where the first flood was by water, alright, but the second flood, is going to be by fire, alright, nuclear destruction, alright. But the point is that, people are going to be comfortable, they're going to be at ease, and they're going to, get the warning because Noah was a preacher. Alright, Noah was a prophet. You see? He says, let me jump up. Matthew 24 and verse uh, 26. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes and in diverse places. All right, and famine, like the back in the article, we explained that in Maikoni the land was hit with salt water, and once salt water touched the land, you know that basically kills the crop. All right, and that's going to bring in shortages of food, which is a famine. All right. um it says all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, and that's it. That it's just the beginning. All right, this is just the beginning of what is going to come to this place. All right, this is just the beginning. So Lord's will that this lesson was edifying. All right. Once again, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory belong to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakodash, and double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.